You ever give everything to a woman and still feel like you weren't enough? Busted your ass for her, put her first, tried to make it work, and she still played you. Left you questioning what the hell went wrong. That sting, that gut punch, that's your wake-up call. Here's the truth, you weren't weak. You were emotionally exposed in a war zone. And if she can rattle your peace, she owns your power. It's time to wake up, bro. Time to stop giving away your power. Time to take control of your peace. This video is about becoming emotionally untouchable. So no woman, no matter how manipulative, ever gets a grip on your sanity again. We're going deep into masculine emotional control, stoic self-respect, and how to cut through the bullshit. Like a blade through butter. It's time to reclaim your peace, your power, and your strength. Comment below, I protect my peace. Say it. Mean it. Now, let's get to work. Number 1, stop playing therapist. You're not her damn emotional sponge. She sat across from me, tears in her eyes, chaos in her voice, and I thought I was doing the right thing. I leaned in. I listened. I tried to make sense of her storms, tried to fix her mess with logic, calm her outbursts with kindness. What I didn't realize was that I wasn't helping her. I was handing over my peace, piece by piece, to someone who didn't even know what peace looked. Like it starts off noble. You care, you've got a heart. You're not cold like the men she's cried about. You think, if I show her stability, maybe she'll stop spinning. You think you can heal her pain by absorbing it, like you've been sent to rescue her from every man that came before you. But here's the hard truth, brother. You weren't built to be her therapist. You were built to be a mountain, not a mop. Let me say that again. You are not a goddamn mop. You don't exist to soak up the mess. She's too emotionally immature to face herself. Because here's what they don't tell you. Manipulative or emotionally chaotic woman will test your empathy. She'll mistake your kindness for compliance, your patience for weakness. And the more you try to understand her, the more you'll lose sight of yourself. You'll start apologizing for things you didn't do, carrying blame that doesn't belong to you, questioning your reactions, even when they're rooted in sanity. And one day, you'll look in the mirror and not recognize the man staring back, tired, tense, dull-eyed, drained. That's what happens when you try to fix a woman who benefits from staying broken. Let me give it to you straight. If a woman is hell-bent on chaos, your stability won't calm her, it'll bore her. If she thrives on emotional drama, she won't see you as a safe harbor. She'll see you as a sponge to squeeze, then toss. So the stoic move, it's simple. Not my chaos, not my job. She cries. You don't flinch. She rages. You stay still. She spirals. You let her. Your job is to lead, not to leak. To stand firm in your frame, not be pulled into hers. You are structure, calm, steel. You're not the repairman. You're the damn house. Let her hire a therapist. Let her go to yoga. Let her journal her demons out in silence. But you keep your soul guarded. You keep your peace prioritized. You stay emotionally sovereign, no matter how loud her storm gets. Because if you don't, you'll become a man who confuses emotional martyrdom for love. And brother, love should lift, not drown. Closing line. When a man stops trying to fix broken women, he finally has the strength to rebuild himself. Number 2, silence is power. You don't need the last words, you need peace. There's a moment in every toxic relationship when you hear her say something so twisted, so off base, that your blood heats up. Your jaw clenches, and every part of you wants to fire back. She pokes the bear, gaslights you, flips the story upside down, and suddenly, you're not even arguing about what happened. You're defending your sanity. So you talk, you explain, you raise your voice a little, thinking maybe she'll finally hear you. You try to make sense of chaos, with logic, with reason, with passion. But here's what's really happening, brother. You're feeding the fire. Every word you give her, every emotional reaction is like fuel. Because it's not the point she cares about, it's the power. She wants control over your mind, over your emotions. She wants to know she can rattle you, make you dance emotionally, pull strings and watch you react. And the truth is, she doesn't even need to be right. She just needs to keep you engaged. Because the longer you're arguing, the more she owns your frame. And when a man loses his frame, he becomes unstable, reactive, weaker by the second. So let me drop something that saved me years ago. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. See, when you stop reacting, you starve her manipulation. When you speak slowly, calmly, or not at all, you flip the script. She doesn't know what's coming next. She can't control the tone, can't steer a narrative, can't feed off your energy. Because silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's the presence of strength. You don't need to win the argument. You don't need her to say, "You're right." Hell, you don't even need to be understood. You need one thing: peace. And peace doesn't come from winning emotional tug-of-wars. It comes from walking away from the rope. Now that doesn't mean being passive. It means being grounded. If she crosses a line, you draw one, but you don't flail, you don't yell, you don't sink to her emotional level. You hold the frame, you respond slow, you walk away. Past her, because that's where your power lives. Not in proving your point, but in protecting your peace. So next time she tries to drag you into one of those twisted loops, let her words hang in the air. Let the silence speak for you. Let her realize she's talking to a wall of composure, not a boy who needs validation. A man doesn't chase noise. A man doesn't need the last word. A man doesn't argue with storms. He outlasts them. Closing line: I don't argue to be heard. I stay silent to stay free. Number 3, attachment is addiction. You're not in love, you're hooked. You don't realize it at first. It feels like love. The butterflies in your stomach when she texts. The sweet, slow burn of intimacy, like you've found something deep, something real. But then it hits you. In the quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts, when you're honest with yourself. That rush you feel, that craving to see her, hear her, be close to her, that's not love, brother. That's addiction. You've been hooked, chasing the highs she's perfectly calibrated, the moments of sweetness she dangles in front of you, just enough to keep you tethered. And when you're feeling good, feeling like everything's right in the world, she pulls back. The coldness, the distance, the manipulation, and your mind races, wondering why. What did I do wrong? What can I fix? But this isn't about you. This isn't about anything you did or didn't do. This is about her game, and you're just the pawn. She knows how to keep you hooked, to keep you in her orbit, to make you need her. One minute you're flying high, the next you're falling. You're on a roller coaster that you never asked to get on, but somehow you can't get off. That's the addiction, bro. The highs keep you addicted, the lows keep you coming back for more, and the worst part? You start to confuse the chaos for passion. You think the intensity, the emotional swings are a sign of deep connection, but deep down, you know something's wrong. You know it's not healthy, but it's so damn hard to pull away when you've already fallen so far. Let's be real here. You don't miss her. You miss the dopamine, the way she makes you feel alive, like you're on fire, but also burning out. And that's the trap. The chase for the next high, the next text, the next moment of closeness. You're addicted to the cycle. You're addicted to her chaos. But love doesn't feel like this. True love is steady. It doesn't pull you up just to drop you down. It doesn't play on your emotions, your insecurities, your need for validation. True love isn't a thrill ride. It's peace, it's safety. It's knowing that you're valued without the need for manipulation. So, what do you do, bro? How do you break free from this cycle? Here's the Stoic shift that changed everything for me. I don't chase dopamine. I pursue discipline. Let that sink in. You're not chasing emotional highs anymore. You're chasing something that builds you, that keeps you grounded. You don't need to be swept away by every emotional wave. You need to be the damn anchor. And the way to become that anchor is through discipline. Discipline in how you think, discipline in how you respond, discipline in how you protect your peace. No more falling for the roller coaster. You're off the ride. You're in control now. The minute you break the cycle of addiction and see it for what it is, you'll realize how much better your life can be without her emotional turbulence. You can get out of this. But first, you have to stop believing the lie that this chaos is love. Love isn't supposed to feel like a drug. It's not supposed to feel like a crutch. Love should make you stronger, not weaker. It should make you more grounded, not more uncertain. It should add peace to your life, not confusion. And when you stop chasing that high, when you start pursuing discipline instead of dopamine, you'll realize something. You were never addicted to her. You were addicted to the need for her to validate you, for her to keep you emotionally in a state of constant fluctuation. And the moment you cut that need out, you'll find something better than you ever thought possible. You'll find peace. You'll find freedom. Closing line: love isn't an addiction. It's the freedom to be at peace with who you are, no matter who's by your side. Number 4, respect is earned, not demanded. You can't demand what you tolerate. I remember the first time I noticed it. She snapped at me over something small. It wasn't a big deal, but her tone cut deep. I let it slide. I didn't want to start a fight. I figured maybe she's just having a bad day. Then it happened again and again. Each time I told myself I was being patient, being understanding, being the bigger man. After all, we all have our moments, right? It wasn't until I started feeling like I was walking on eggshells that I realized the truth. I wasn't being patient. I was being weak. I was tolerating disrespect. And in doing so, I was teaching her that it was okay to treat me like this. Bro. Respect isn't just something you should hope for or beg for. It's something you demand through your actions. Not by begging, not by explaining, but by enforcing your boundaries. Here's the thing: if you tolerate disrespect, you'll get more of it. You let her talk to you like crap once? Guess what? She'll talk to you like crap again. You don't speak up when she dismisses your feelings. She'll do it again, because she knows there's no consequence. You let her step over your boundaries, they'll keep moving. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly giving more than you're getting, where her needs, her emotions, her issues always come first, where your self-respect gets chipped away a little bit at a time, where your peace is stolen from you because you've allowed it. But respect is earned, not demanded. You can't just shout, "I deserve respect," and expect it to magically show up. It's not about some big dramatic confrontation where you put your foot down. It's about consistently enforcing your boundaries in a way that's calm, direct, and unapologetic. It's about teaching people how to treat you, not by telling them, but by showing them through your actions. The Stoic shift that needs to happen is simple but powerful. I enforce my boundaries like a king guards his gates. You think a king lets anyone walk into his kingdom without respect? You think he lets thieves into his castle just because they asked nicely? Hell no. A king's castle is protected. His gates are fortified. He doesn't need to explain himself. He doesn't need to beg anyone to respect him. He enforces his rules without hesitation. That's how you need to approach respect, bro. You don't beg for it. You don't grovel for it. You demand it by setting clear boundaries and never letting them slide. If she crosses a line, you stand tall. You let her know that's not okay. You don't get emotional. You don't get reactive. You simply enforce your boundaries like a king guarding his gates. Now, I get it. The idea of standing up for yourself in a relationship can feel intimidating. We're conditioned to believe that being nice or understanding will keep the peace. But the truth is, you're only keeping the peace for her, not for you. And peace for you comes from having respect for yourself. This isn't about creating conflict for the sake of it. It's about self-respect. It's about not letting anyone walk all over you. It's about teaching others that your peace is non-negotiable. When you set boundaries, she might test them. She might get defensive. She might try to manipulate you into thinking you're being too harsh, too demanding. But deep down, you'll know the truth. You're not being too harsh. You're being just right. You're protecting your kingdom, your peace, your dignity. And if she can't respect that, well, that's her problem, not yours. A real man doesn't waste time begging for respect. He earns it by showing that he's willing to walk away if it's not given freely. Closing line: respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you demand through your actions, or lose forever. Number 5, don't confuse drama for passion. If peace feels boring, you've been poisoned. I remember the first time it hit me. The rush, the chaos. It felt intense, real, like something was happening. It's that feeling when the argument breaks out, when things are at their peak and you're both throwing words, energy, and emotions at each other. And then, right in the middle of that storm, you get that moment, a deep connection, a rush, a feeling that this is it. This is what you're meant for. This is what love is supposed to feel like. But here's the trick: the manipulation, the emotional games, the highs and lows. That's not passion. That's chaos disguised as something real. You get used to the emotional roller coaster, and that's where the poison takes root. You think the drama is a sign of depth, of love. You think the intensity, the emotional highs and lows, are what connection is supposed to feel like. But the truth is, you're just addicted to the drama, and she knows it. She knows how to stir the pot, throw you off balance and keep you constantly guessing. One minute, she's pulling you in close, being affectionate, making you feel like you're the only one who matters. The next, she's distant, cold, maybe even cruel. And in that space, in the gap between the highs and the lows, you chase her warmth, you chase her approval, you chase that next high, that next hit of dopamine. But that's not love, bro. That's a trap. Manipulative women do this. They stir the pot, keep you in a constant state of emotional flux. They keep you guessing, keep you off balance. They thrive in chaos. And the worst part? You get addicted to the feeling of it. You start confusing the storm for passion. You start wanting it. You convince yourself it's normal, that it's what love is, that the peace is boring. But here's the reality. Peace is not boring. Chaos is. Let that sink in. When you're living in a constant emotional storm, you're never at peace. You're always on edge, always worried about what's next, always questioning, always fighting. And that is not living. That's surviving. Real love doesn't leave you emotionally exhausted and empty. Real love isn't a series of emotional highs followed by painful drops. Real love isn't about who can create the most chaos or drama. Real love is calm. It's steady. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, no matter what life throws your way, you have something solid to stand on. Something that doesn't break down every time you face a challenge. Something that doesn't crumble under pressure. Something that doesn't need constant emotional validation. Real love is about building together, side by side. Not fighting for dominance, not one-upmanship, not chaos. It's about trust, about peace, about knowing that no matter what, you've got each other's back. Not because you need to prove anything, but because you genuinely care for each other. It's consistency, it's calm. So what's the Stoic shift here? Calm is my home. I don't settle for storms. You need to own this mindset. You need to stop confusing chaos for chemistry. Stop thinking that constant drama means you're in love. It doesn't. It means you're caught in a toxic cycle, playing a game that you can't win. When you stop chasing the emotional highs and lows, you stop feeding the storm. You stop giving your energy away to someone who thrives on your instability. You stop being her emotional punching bag, and you take back control. Calm isn't boring, brother. Calm is strength. Calm is clarity. Calm is where you find yourself. It's the difference between being caught in a hurricane and standing in the eye of it, still, unaffected and in control. The storm will always rage, but now you're the one who decides whether you get caught in it. Now, you're the one who decides when it ends. You don't need the drama. You need peace. That's where real power lives. That's where real love lives. So the next time you feel the pull of chaos, when she throws that emotional curveball your way, ask yourself, is this passion or is it poison? Closing line, peace is where real strength lies. If you think it's boring, you've been poisoned by chaos. Number 6, withdraw to win. Sometimes the strongest move is to disappear. There's a moment you've probably had. You're standing there feeling like you've done everything. You've given your time, your energy, your heart. You've bent over backward to prove yourself. And yet there you are, still stuck in the same place, still fighting for something that's not coming back. And deep down, you know it. But something in you just won't let go. You keep trying. You keep sticking around thinking, maybe this time, maybe if I just do this. Here's the hard truth. You're not proving anything by staying. In fact, all you're doing is proving that you're willing to sacrifice yourself for someone who doesn't deserve it. You're showing her that you'll keep chasing, even when she's shown you she's not invested. You're handing over your power piece by piece for someone who doesn't even respect it. It took me a long time to realize this. I thought the answer was to stay, to keep pushing, to prove my worth. Like if I stayed in the storm long enough, maybe she'd see how much I cared. But here's the thing, the more you stay in a relationship that drains you, the less you become who you're meant to be. You lose pieces of yourself, your dignity, your time, your energy. And the longer you wait for her to come around, the more you teach her that you'll always be there, that you'll never walk away. That's not strength. That's desperation. The strongest move you can make, it's walking away, it's disappearing, not to punish her, but to reclaim yourself. That's when you show the world and yourself what you're really worth. Because once you choose to walk away, once you choose yourself, that's when things start shifting. You see, the problem is this. You've been stuck in the mindset that you're somehow going to win her over by staying. You've got it twisted. The reality is, she'll only value you once you start valuing yourself. Once you walk away. Once you stop chasing. Once you stop putting your energy into someone who doesn't reciprocate, you'll see that the person who needed to change wasn't her. It was you. You had to change your mindset. You had to stop believing that you were going to win her over by doing everything right. You had to realize that you're not here to be a backup plan or a crutch. You're not here to be the one who gets left on the back burner. You're here to be the one who walks away with his head held high. You're here to be the one who takes his power back. I don't care how much history you've got with her. I don't care how much you've invested if someone is making you feel like you're not enough. The strongest move you can make is to choose yourself. And that means walking away. This isn't weakness. This isn't giving up. This is the ultimate act of strength. You see, the Stoic shift here is simple. I choose me, even if I have to walk alone. That's not a defeatist attitude. That's a mindset shift. That's recognizing that your peace, your value, your energy, all of that matters more than anyone else's approval. That's recognizing that no matter how much you want her to change, no matter how much you want to fix things, the only person you can change is yourself, and you have to be willing to walk away from anyone who doesn't appreciate you for who you are. No more bending over backward, no more compromising your dignity, no more staying in the game just to keep the illusion of connection alive. It's about self-respect. It's about knowing your worth. It's about realizing that you are enough. And anyone who can't see that doesn't deserve your time. So yeah, it may hurt in the beginning. It may feel like you're losing something important. But the reality is, you're not losing anything. You're gaining yourself back. You're gaining your peace back. And when you make that shift, when you choose yourself first, you become unstoppable. You stop chasing the wrong people. You stop chasing approval. You stop settling for scraps. And that's when the right people, the ones who see you, the ones who value you, will find you. Not because you stayed, but because you walked away. You chose to take control. You chose your dignity. You chose to rebuild yourself piece by piece and walk alone until you're strong enough to walk with someone who deserves you. Closing line, the strongest move you'll ever make is choosing yourself, even if it means walking alone. Number 7, emotional minimalism. Say less, feel less, be more. There's a moment when you realize you've said too much. It's when the conversation shifts from trying to make her understand to you trying to justify your actions. You've been there when you've spilled your heart out, when you've told her everything, your deepest fears, your regrets, your dreams. You're trying to connect, to make her see you, to get her to understand that you're more than just the guy in front of her. But here's the problem. You've handed over everything, and she's holding the knife. You gave her access to your deepest parts, and now she's using it against you. She twists your words, throws them back in your face, or makes you feel like you're weak for being open. And now you're left standing there, emotionally drained, wondering why you keep doing this to yourself. The mistake? You overshared. You gave too much. You were looking for connection, but you didn't realize you were just feeding the storm. Look, I've been there. You think if you just tell her everything, your emotions, your inner thoughts, the stuff you've kept locked away, it'll bring you closer. But all it does is make you vulnerable. And vulnerability is fine when it's earned, when it's respected. But if you're pouring your soul into someone who's not ready to handle it, they'll use it as leverage. They'll manipulate your emotions, twist your words, and make you feel small. You'll end up feeling more exposed than ever. The truth is, your emotions are yours. They don't belong in the hands of someone else to play with. Your feelings don't need validation from someone who can't even respect them. And the more you over-explain, the more you open up, the more you're setting yourself up to be used. Every time you say too much, every time you get vulnerable without boundaries, you're letting your emotions roam free in a place they shouldn't be. Here's the Stoic shift you need to make. I keep my soul in my chest, not on my sleeve. You see, this is about protecting yourself, about drawing a line between the world and your inner peace. It's about keeping your emotions close to you, not spilling them out into every conversation. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to over-explain your choices. You don't need to hand out your pain like a donation. The world doesn't need to know everything about you. Your strength lies in keeping that part of you sacred, locked away for the people who truly deserve it. This doesn't mean you shut down. This doesn't mean you become some cold, emotionless robot. It means you learn to control what you share. And more importantly, when you share it, not everyone needs to see every side of you. Not everyone deserves to know your story. And not everyone is worthy of your vulnerability. That's a privilege, not a right. Think about it like this. You wouldn't just walk into a stranger's house and start handing them your personal belongings, right? You wouldn't just dump your life's worth of valuables into someone's lap without knowing if they'll treat them with care. Same goes for your emotions. They're yours. You don't owe them to anyone. And once you start practicing emotional minimalism, once you stop spilling every single thought and feeling to every person who crosses your path, you'll feel a shift. You'll feel stronger, more in control, more at peace with yourself. Because the more you give away, the more you lose. A piece of yourself. And you can't keep doing that if you ever want to rebuild. Every time you keep your emotions in check, every time you don't feel the need to explain or overshare, you are choosing your own peace. You're choosing to stand firm in who you are, not to let anyone dictate your worth. You're no longer handing over your soul to someone who hasn't earned it. And that's powerful, bro. Real strength isn't in how much you're willing to give away. It's in how much you can keep and still remain whole. It's in learning how to be just enough for yourself without relying on others. To fill you up, it's in saying less, feeling less, and simply being. Because when you've learned that, when you stop needing to explain or justify every emotion, every decision, every feeling, you'll find that you are enough. And that's all you need to be. Closing line. True. Strength isn't in what you share. It's in what you choose to keep for yourself. You've been taught to be emotionally available, to constantly pour yourself out, to bend over backwards, to give everything you have for the sake of others. That's what society pushes. That's what the world expects from you. And here's the trap. You've been led to believe that your value comes from how much you give, how much you're willing to sacrifice. But here's the truth. You've been giving away your peace for far too long. You're not a fixer. You're not a savior. You're not her emotional crash pad. You're the foundation, the rock, the king. It's time to stop chasing validation through chaos. It's time to stop letting others decide your worth. When you choose yourself, when you choose to be the man who doesn't fold, who doesn't shrink in the face of conflict, that's when you reclaim your power. You're not here to clean up the messes of others, especially if they've made no effort to clean up their own. You're not a band-aid. You're not a crutch. You are the one who stands tall, steady, and unmoved. In a world full of storms, you choose to be the mountain that doesn't move. You choose to be unshakable. Now, the choice is yours. Are you ready to stand in your own strength, to hold your ground no matter how hard the winds blow? Are you ready to protect your peace, to stop letting chaos dictate your life? Here's the final shift. You don't just survive the storm, you become the storm. So say it loud, say it proud, say it like you mean it. I protect my peace and then live it every single day. The storm will always rage, brother, but you are the mountain, and mountains don't move. Comment below, I protect my peace. Take that vow and let it guide you from now on.